It's Eagles at Cowboys. It's a big, big freaking game. Cowboys favored by 3, over and under at 48.5. Whew, this is a tough one here. Go ahead. Tell me what you got.
Cowboys got some big injuries. I'm concerned about the injuries. Left tackle and right tackle. Who knows if those guys are going to play? Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins. Amari Cooper, the indications are he's not going to play. Who's going to be the number one receiver? Michael Irvin was on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas yesterday advocating for Antonio Brown to join the Cowboys. And you know what? That's not all that ridiculous of a suggestion if and when the NFL ever allows him to come back and play. They've got him in that weird limbo now where no one will touch him until the investigation's over. So the investigation is just never going to end, and he'll never play football again, or at least not this year. But I like the Cowboys nevertheless. This is a back-against-the-wall type of a game. We've seen Jason Garrett do this last year when they were 3-5 on the road when the storm clouds were hovering and there was talk that he could get fired if it was an embarrassing loss. They won that game. They'd finished 7-1 in the second half of the season, make it to the playoffs and make it to actually the divisional round. This is one of those get your act together games for the Cowboys, even with the injuries at home. And this is the third time this week I'm going with the close game, issues on both sides of the ball, both sides of the line, both sides of the field. I'm taking the home team, 30-24 Cowboys over the Eagles. I just think the Cowboys are going to be in better position to get it right. And I didn't like the Doug Peterson saying we're going to win and then not saying I guarantee it. Because when I heard that on Monday, I'm thinking, all right, if he's that sure, I'm taking the Eagles next Sunday night. And then he says, well, I didn't really guarantee it. It's like, come on, man, just own it. You said it. Just own it. So that's another thing that, even though it has nothing to do with the game, it has me picking the Cowboys.
Okay, I got you there. Damn it, I said okay again. All right, so
okay,
Deshaun Jackson. What's the latest there? Somebody tell me that. But I'll talk.
Deshaun, I'll tell you right now.
Okay,
I don't think
good.
he practiced yesterday. He's got that groin. It's a groin tear.
Yeah.
It's a groin tear.
Yeah, that's not good news, and they need him.
Small tear, but they want to wait for him to be completely healthy because the way he runs, he's so explosive that it may get re-injured. But I'd be stunned if he practiced yesterday. He did not practice. They're calling it an abdomen injury, but his trainer spoke last week to the Philadelphia Inquirer. It's a small tear in the groin.
Yep. Okay. All right. So this is where I'd go with this one. They're both teams that are like the ultimate backs against the wall type of team. I expect this to be a really exciting game. I think it's going to be 31-28, but I think it's going to be 31-28 Dallas Cowboys. Now, I do want to see the status of the tackles for Dallas. That would be nice to know as well, and we'll see where that all goes and plays out. I mean, I would imagine they're going to be close to playing. It'll probably be those game-time decisions. We saw Tyron Smith last week out there trying to warm up and get ready and maybe play. So I think this week he probably gets over the hump and does play. At least I'm hoping for that. Now, also, the other thing I'll say about the Philadelphia defense that I liked last week, I thought Fletcher Cox closer to the Fletcher Cox I remembered for the last few years. You know, a lot of people in Philadelphia have been talking about, he had the toe injury and the foot injury, whatever he was dealing with all training camp, and he has not been quite 100%. He's been good this year, but he has not been as dominant. So there was some plays on tape last week, Mike, that I watched against Minnesota where he was the ass-whooping Fletcher Cox that I remember on a bunch of them. So I think he might be close to dominant form. But either way, without Deshaun Jackson, I worry about there's just times with the Philadelphia offense, it's just so much work. It's so hard for them to go down the field. And, yeah, they got their mojo going for 2 or 3 drives the other day against your Minnesota Vikings. But then it just stops. It halts. It's over. Like, oh, man, we had a few little creative plays on those, but we ran out of the creative plays, and now we're back to our bread and butter plays, and they're just not creative enough, in my opinion. They need to do a little bit more there in the pass game. It's too much short to intermediate throwing for Carson Wentz. It's too much of him jamming the ball in there for a 7-yard gain. Like, oh, he's got to throw a strike, and he's got to throw it 104 miles per hour to get this ball complete, and damn, he does it a lot. But that's just dangerous against a team that's as talented as Dallas on the defensive side of the ball. And really, ultimately, the Philly secondary scares me. Not necessarily the safeties. The safeties are good. The corners are scary. They're just not good. That's all I can really say. Sidney Jones has never been healthy in the history of the NFL career at this point. Rasul Douglas can't cover people man-to-man. I go Cowboys 31-28. I think it's a really fun game, but I do think the Cowboys win it.
You're going with the
push.
You're not picking a winner on the betting line because the Cowboys are 3-point favorites. That's why I went with 6, 30-24. And how about I'm not going to call overtime, but I could see something like that. 24-all at the end of regulation. Cowboys score a touchdown in overtime, but I think 30-24. Cowboys win. They get to 4-3, and the storm clouds part just a little bit for Jason Garrett.
Yep, that's right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.